Welcome to the Sci-Fi Stories channel. Today we will explore a special series titled Nature of Predators, Death of a Monster by the author Bainshie. Memory transcription subject, Estala, ex-prestige exterminator, current predator. Date, standardized human time, November 15th, 2136. I am a monster. I have spent my life doing everything I could to further the graces of Inatala, to stop the spread of predators everywhere they could be found, and to protect noble herbivores from a universe filled with danger and destruction, to stop anyone else from experiencing the suffering I did. I joined the exterminators at the young age of 12, straight out of the orphanage and into my purpose in life. My general short stature made me a poor fit for the military, but very useful for crawling through spaces to eliminate the creatures lurking in their dens. I became good at it, learning my craft and every Federation protocol, unwavering in my dedication to protecting the galaxy. I learned to suppress the fear responses of the eyes and teeth that glinted in the dark. I was making the universe a safer place. I did my duty under the kind eyes of Inatala for 10 years, before moving to Venlil Prime as part of a wider Federation movement, to help our more cautious allies who had not been gifted the resolve of Inatala to do what needed to be done, to teach them how to fight, how to prevail. I trained them, taught them to channel their fear and frustration, to fight back against the unnatural forces of those who would harm us. Then the predators, the humans, arrived. They came bearing not sharp claws, but sharp words, quickly convincing the empathetic Venlil to trust them. I remained silent, knowing when to choose my battles. The predators came proclaiming peace and friendship, but their forward-facing eyes and constant smiles suggested otherwise. I stayed on Venlil Prime, even as the noble Federation fleet was sent to confront this new challenge. Eventually, the predators would drop their mask and show their true intentions, and I would be ready to help the Venlil, those I now consider my kin, defend against this new danger. Then the news broke about the statements from the Kolshian chief. Predators were more widespread than we thought. Their influence ran deep, and I am one of them. We Krakatl were affected deeply by this. As it turned out, we were no different than the predators we swore to eliminate. Many were overwhelmed by this realization, and others chose to confront their fate head-on, sometimes in reckless ways. Some tried to attack the humans in desperation, trying to stop what they perceived as a growing threat. Others, however, disgraced themselves by siding with the predators, embracing their newfound nature. A small number took things further, although that problem soon resolved itself naturally. I couldn't help feeling sorry for them, as no one deserved the pain caused by such a harsh transformation. I originally intended to join the more courageous of my kind when the news of my condition broke, to take one last stand against the threat. But before I could, a better idea came to me. I could both remove my own dark influence from the universe, as well as warn the innocent Venlil of the consequences of dealing with humans, using a human saying, "To kill two birds with one stone." I would get a human to reveal their true nature. The first step of this plan had been both successful and unsuccessful. Swiping a human communication device had been simple, their lack of peripheral vision making it easy to sneak up on them. Reading the information had been a bit harder, but through convincing a Venlil with my persuasive skills to consult their human partner, I was able to get instructions to make the device speak out loud any words displayed on the screen, at which point the translator embedded in my brain would do its work. This is where the success of my first stage fell apart. I had expected to see the unfiltered communications of the humans. Instead, I saw what was clearly a decoy. Sure, it had disturbing depictions, instructions for eating meat, violent actions humans had taken, and strange anatomically incorrect drawings of Federation species. But it lacked the evil a true predator communication network would have, their long-term plan for Venlil Prime and other Federation species. Clearly, they had expected a Federation citizen like myself to gain access, and had planted this false network with just enough bait to make it believable, without revealing their actual scheme. This led me to guess my next move. Humans were clearly social predators, their lack of claws or strong jaws requiring them to rely on trickery. They would likely only strike when they were certain to be alone, as their deception would only work once. This meant I would need to find a way to be alone with a human, to play the part of trusting prey. I purchased a set of long-range monitoring equipment, battery-powered, wireless uplink, waterproof, and nearly indestructible. This would then continuously upload to my personal device at home. I created a safety mechanism where if I didn't deactivate the program every 4 paws, it would upload all video and audio to every news outlet and network I could think of. It was strange to think that if any of it ever went off, it would be because I had uncovered the truth. Of course, that meant my own influence on the world would also be gone, so every cloud has a silver lining. All I needed now was a target, a human who would be both my evidence and my salvation. I knew I was no longer under the graces of Inatala. I knew that I was the embodiment of the very thing I had sworn to fight against. But the human I found was practically perfect for my needs and was heaven-sent for my purpose. I was in the middle of nowhere when I heard the human's strange scream for the first time. I had been spending less and less time near civilized people, preferring to avoid those I was no longer fit to be around. So hearing a shout this far into the wilderness, half a flight away from the capital, had been shocking and confusing. Even more confusing was discovering that the sound had come from a male human. Most people wouldn't venture this far from civilization, simply because of the danger posed by wild animals. But that didn't seem to concern the human. The strange thing was, this human was just sitting in a clearing, shouting into nothingness for a good 10 minutes. Then the human would sit there for another hour, doing nothing apart from occasionally eating and drinking from food they had brought with them, before heading back the way they had come. This behavior was both odd and perplexing, and even more surprisingly, this wasn't the last time I would see the human do this. Every 10 paws, without fail, the human would return to the same clearing, shout for a while, then leave. Clearly, this was a human under stress. It seemed almost too good to be true. I set up the recording equipment, tested and retested the quality of the footage it would capture, and made sure that it was well hidden from even a human's forward-facing eyes. The sound quality was good. The visual quality was excellent. I captured test footage and could see every moment of the human shouting into the void. Backups were put in place. Everything had to be perfect. I would only get one chance to document this. The only task left was to execute the plan. Today, I hid in the trees at the correct time, heart pounding as I waited for the human's shouting to begin, which it did, right on time, just like clockwork. The human had done this the last 3 times. I moved along the ground towards the sound. I knew where the human would be. I knew the path to take, towards my final act, the only thing a conflicted soul like me deserved. If you enjoy captivating stories like this one, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any future episodes on HM's Sci-Fi Stories.